Hello, hello, and welcome to all of you. I'm so excited to be here with all of you, and I can't believe I timed that almost perfectly. How that song ended on the hour. I'm like very impressed with my DJ abilities at this moment, but I'm excited to be here with all of you. Scott, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm so excited to have you here with us.
Thank you.
I know you're as excited about the next hour or so as I am. So thank you so much. For those of you that don't know me, and I'm going to continue to be admitting people, and actually, I'm going to ask a favor really quickly. Heidi, I see that you're here. If I can add you as an admin, would you be able to help help me accept people?
Yep, no problem. I got it.
Okay, hold on just a second here. Oh, I just lost you. Where are you? Hold on. There you are. Okay, I'm actually making you the host. Is that okay, Heidi? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Heidi. All right. Oh, I need to unmute myself. Oh, I am unmuted. Okay. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you that I have not had the there we go. All right. Sorry, everybody. We're getting it all worked out. Okay. Thank you all. For those that don't know me, my name is Tish Mefford. I am a senior executive company VP with Park Lane Jewelry. That is a mouthful. But I am really honored to have an opportunity to do this Zoom with Scott this evening. I just a little bit about myself before I introduce and pass the mic over to Scott. So, for those that haven't heard my story before, I've been in the direct sales space for 17 years now, a little over 17 years. I've actually been an entrepreneur for about 26 years now. I started my first small business when my oldest child, Nicholas, was born. I was a big believer that I wanted to be a working mom, but I wanted to be in control of when I worked. So I built a small business. I absolutely loved it. And then in the fall of 2008, Hurricane Ike, a natural disaster, hit the Texas Gulf Coast. And my small business of 10 years, which we were in Houston at the time, plummeted along with many other Houston businesses, and we went into a recession. That is when I first turned to direct sales. I was looking for a way to pay a couple of bills in our household, and it was going to be this short-term solution for me until my business picked back up. Once I got in, I got involved, I got the taste of what this industry and profession could offer. I fell in absolute love with the industry, and I ended up closing my small business. And I have been working this business with a full-time, flexible focus ever since. At my first company, and I'll share a little bit about my first experience only because I want you guys to understand how incredibly excited and yet potentially some might think a little risky for me to choose to partner with Park Lane 7 years ago. At my first company, I built to the top of the plan. I was one of those success stories that you hear about. Um, I loved it. The problem was while I was earning more income than I ever thought I would earn in my lifetime, at that first company, there were a few that earned a lot, but the majority weren't earning what I felt they deserved to be earning. And they were working really hard and were incredibly talented and very passionate people. And so I decided that if I was going to dedicate another couple of decades to a profession that I loved, I wanted to partner with the best so that I could offer the best. I wanted to be able to offer the best to my customers, offer the best to my hostesses, and ultimately the future team that I would build. In stepped Scott Levine, and that is where I got to know more about this company, the history, the mission, and I absolutely fell in love with the possibilities here because it became very clear to me that if I could help the average person that joins us in the industry who is very busy, typically has a full-time job, plus being a mom, plus all the other responsibilities that come with their life, if I could help that average person be able to have success, then I knew ultimately I would be able to replace what I was walking away from and build beyond. So I'm super excited to be here tonight with Scott. And Scott, will you first start out? A few have had an opportunity to spend some time with you. I know we had your birthday bash a couple weeks ago that some had qualified and earned, but for those that are getting to meet you for the first time, share a little bit about your backstory and how you got started with Park Lane and a little bit about our history, because these are some of the stories that I love most personally. Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted, Scott. I'm so sorry. You'll have to unmute yourself, or maybe Heidi can unmute you. Hang tight.
Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
yes,
It's like that commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Well,
cool.
it's my pleasure to be on tonight with all of you. Whenever I get to talk to people about Park Lane, I get pretty jazzed. I want to say if you're already in Park Lane, I want to welcome you into our company. We are grateful to have you here, and you'll find out it's way more better than you thought it was. And if you're a guest hearing about Park Lane for the first time, it's really a compliment to you to have been invited because someone thinks very highly of you and thinks you deserve to learn more about our company. To give you some background about Park Lane, you could say I was born into it. My parents started the company in 1955 at the tender age of 16 and 19. And I don't know what you were doing at 16, but the last thing I was thinking about was starting my own business. And of course, that was in 1955, where things were way different, especially for women. But my mother felt that women deserve more, they deserve better, and she wanted to design a business plan where women could have it all, could work from home and bring in extra income. And direct sales was relatively a new concept back then. And they were exposed to another direct sales company because my grandmother had been invited to a home party for cleaning products. And they went along because they were intrigued. Newly married at 16 and 18, they wanted to have their own business. And they were brought up with that mindset to be successful, you need to work for yourself. And of course, back then, there were very few companies out there. Most of them were cleaning products and such. There was skincare and cosmetics. So what they did, actually, it was my grandfather. After they decided to go into this industry, it was my grandfather that lent them $1,800. Now, $1,800 in 1955 equates to about 34,000 today. So imagine giving 34,000 to your 6-year-old and saying, "Good luck. I think you could do this." They definitely believed in them. They had to have. And my family comes from very modest background. I mean, us kids, my mom and dad had 8 children, and at one point, I remember 5 of us slept in 2 twin beds pushed together, and my grandma slept at the bottom. She was a young grandmother. She was only 38 when my oldest sister was born. So we didn't have a lot, but we had what counted, and that was a lot of love. And my grandmother brought us to faith. So we felt very secure. We didn't know what we didn't have. But back then, my parents, they actually took monies and invested in 2, 3 consultants to determine what would be the best product to market for the long term. And every consultant came back with jewelry. Now, I've only been in jewelry, so I only know jewelry. And when you've been successful at one thing, it's hard to imagine trying something else. The first 13 years, they didn't take a vacation. Every dollar went back into their business. We didn't see them a whole lot, but we were a family that worked together. We were on Sunday after church, we would go to the office and make kits, and we started at the bottom. And it was a fun experience because we were building something together. And back then, my mom would take a prop plane to Buffalo. She had a good lead in Buffalo, New York, and a prop plane would take all day to get there. And there was no radar back then. She had to actually direct the plane according to the highways until she got to her city. And once she got there, she would prop our pictures up on the TV, and she couldn't come home until she made enough money to come home. So she made a lot of sacrifices so that today the women that are in our business can work from home and work from a computer. Things are so different, but it was designed back then, and the money that was invested through the company's profits have put us in the position we are today. As a 70-year-old company, a cash company that's invested wisely, we are in a very different place than most companies because we're making more on our investments than we need to take in profit. So when things happen like, let's say, tariffs or what have you, we don't have to change our price of our product. We have the power and buying power in buying huge quantities that we don't need to, as well as the fact that they want to take on the extra percentage themselves just so that they can secure our business. Parts companies, plating companies, as well as manufacturers. So we're in a very different position today than most companies. That hiccup can actually destroy some businesses. So as far as Park Lane is concerned, yes, we've been in business for 70 years, but we've actually aged out about 4 to 5 times, which means people say, well, I haven't heard of you. Well, maybe your grandmothers did, or maybe a generation before you did. The fact is, we have now been through 5 generations. So we're looking for that next generation to take Park Lane to the next level. That's why we continue to modernize, update, and make things so contemporary. As far as our company is concerned, we're still run and owned by family. My mom actually gave me a kit when I was 20 years old and newly married. And I graduated from college early, and she says, "Well, if you want to make some extra money for Christmas, here's a kit. Good luck. You probably won't make it." And that was my start. I couldn't rely on any of my friends and my family because they all had Park Lane jewelry. So I had to go to someone outside of our circle, which happened to be one of my wife's friends. And that show led me to 3 more, which led me to 2 more. And we were doing as many as 21 a week, live shows in person while having a full-time job because we're hungry. We came from um, a work ethic that is different than what you see today, and that is to get what you want, you have to work for it. And we weren't afraid of putting in the time for the long-term picture. So fast forward, after I did a lot of sales, my mom said, "Well, that's one thing, but you'll never sustain yourself in the business if you don't, build a team." So that was another challenge, and I went out there and I just went crazy with recruiting and found my love in sharing the business and helping other people make money. And by my fourth year, my team did over 20 million in 1984, which is probably equivalent to 100 million in today's times. So I think there's the advantage that we have in Park Lane is that the people that make decisions have actually been on the front line. They know the business. And if you know the business, you can make better decisions. I mean, I just came up with an idea today at the board meeting, and people are just going to go insane when they hear it because I push the envelope. My one brother, he handles finance. My other brother, he handles distribution and manufacturing, and I get the fun job, and that's I get to work with the people. So I see things through your lenses, and what makes me excited, I know is going to get you excited because I can't wait to share it, and it hasn't even started yet. So the fun thing about Park Lane is that we continue to make it fun, and no longer is it work when you make it a good experience for people. As far as the company is concerned, 23 years ago, my unfortunately my oldest teenage daughter, uh, her life was taken by 2 men, and in a very unfair and horrible way. And I never thought I would, find joy and happiness again. And my parents, all they could think of is trying to get justice for their oldest granddaughter, and through that, they decided to sell my 2 brothers and I the company. So basically, even though we've been in business for 70 years, I've been in business with Park Lane solely and making decisions for 23. And that's where all the updates and modernization has come into being, is through this new generation.
Um, it's so interesting. Every time you share the history, like you bring out a new story, Scott, I haven't heard before, which I love, love, love so much. And your mother was a true icon. And oh my gosh. Okay, so that's the history. Here we are in today's Park Lane world. I would love for you to share what you have seen that makes Park Lane different from not only the profession, but all of the companies out there, because I know there are some very big differences that you are very proud of and unapologetic about.
Well, the thing about it is when you've done the business yourself, you know what disappointments are like. You know when people ghost you, you know when you have setbacks, and you've experienced that firsthand. And so you can put yourself in the shoes of the people that you work with. And I was taught, always put yourself in the other person's position when you make a decision. And I think the fact that decisions we've always made is in the best interest of the people, and we lead with heart before we lead with money. Money will come if you make the right heartfelt decision, and that's how we look at it. I truly believe that just being honest with people and treat people the way you want to be treated is the best way to lead people. I guess I've never been anywhere else, so I only know what I know, and that is to come up through the rank and file of direct sales of people uplifting one another and being for one another and encouraging one another. So I don't believe in negative motivation. I don't believe in fear motivation. One of the things that I was exposed to very early in my career was MLMs. And in MLMs, basically, the representatives, for the most part, are the customers. They're buying from the company, and they get enough people buying from the company downline to them. If they have all the people set up in a certain way, and the skies are lined up in stars a certain way, then they may get paid a lot. And very few people get paid a lot. And we have a very different type of business plan and way of thinking. We want people to make instant money. We don't want them to spend money. Everybody can spend money. We want people to make money. So we don't believe in having to requalify for your level. I mean, just with my own experiences of losing two daughters. I lost one 23 years ago and lost another as a result of an accident 4 years ago. And things happen in our lives that are out of our control. And if you have to keep up certain numbers every month to requalify for the position that you've already earned, this is pressure. That's like a full-time job. That's stressful. So once a person is develops to a level or is appointed to a level, they're locked in at that level and they don't lose that level. If you're locked in at 45%, you're not dropping below 45%. It doesn't matter how much you sell this week or how much you sell this month, you're going to see it weekly because that is our word and we're honoring our word. So we only believe in positive reinforcement of prizes and gifts and give people a reason to have fun with the business and earn fun stuff, which, then they will maybe give their energy to their business when they have a lot going on in their life. There's so many differences. Another difference is we treat people like professionals. There isn't an industry where they don't recognize experience. Even in athletics, if you are a star player, it's common to go to another team and get a better contract. And they normally have a party and a celebration for you. We in Park Lane treat people the same way. If they have people skills, they have recruiting skills, they have leadership skills. We recognize that experience just like every other industry. And if you look at even direct sales companies in our space, what will you find at the top of their companies? People that have been with other companies. So they do it internally, but they don't do it in the field. What's the difference? The difference is I'd rather have people internally have done the business and be able to make the right decisions and understand the people so that they can, of course, be in line with the thinking of the people. So our corporate arena has come from the field, as well as our field. Some of them have developed up, others have been appointed. And the neat thing is, we're the largest jewelry direct sales company in the world, and we get to attract and bring in people that have built big businesses. And just like yourself, Tish, you were the top earner at our at your other company. You have God-given talents, and coming here, you brought those talents with you. And that's why you exceeded your income that you made there very quickly because you were placed at a level commensurate to your experience. And what we find with the power of our plan, there are people that have come in and maybe they do a couple shows and have a couple recruits sent in business, and they make more money on three recruits than they did with 300 because our program is so rich. And one thing I've noticed over the years is a lot of companies are not sustainable. They go up at like Roman candles and they fizz out. Why? Because everyone gets to know someone that bought some inventory, tried it, and maybe wasn't successful at it. So then it's difficult to recruit in the future because everyone knows people that didn't make it. Where we would rather make them our customers and hostesses. And if they're serious about making money, we'll sponsor those people. And no one ever got hurt by trying our company. And that's unique. What's the worst case scenario? They come in for a cup of coffee, have a show, walk away with a lot of jewelry and a paycheck. That's the worst case scenario. And I believe that there are people just not cut out for this business. So if you're sponsoring people where they have to pack, sack, deliver, and collect and inventory, you're taking on a whole nother um, job that it requires time. And I've heard people say, well, I hire people. Well, that comes out of the bottom line, comes out of what you earn. Um, we have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of jewelry that you can draw from that's at your exposure that you can fill orders with, and you don't even have to invest, which I think is huge.
I remember when you and I first started talking, I remember you saying to me, because I shared a lot about how I had built at my first company. And first thing I remember you telling me was you had success, Tish, not because of your company. You had success because of you. And imagine what could happen when I can provide you with programs that are going to help the average person be able to have the success they're looking for, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But I love, when I was getting started, I remember you saying, like, one of your problems you're going to have is all this jewelry is going to be coming in the mail to you, and you're not going to remember how you earned it. Like, it's a thing here,
Right.
problem. And I was talking with one of our newer people today. I think she's watching, and she just completed her first social sell, which is one of the things that we put out for our team to do. And she was like, I was dying with all these orders. I'm getting a free item that I'm using to up for giveaways and helping my new team get started with their launches. And she's like, you said I was going to be swimming in jewelry. I'm literally already swimming in jewelry. I'm like, yes, you are. So why don't you talk a little bit about the programs for a moment that you're.
Sure. First of all, it begins with a product. You can pay a person 100%, but if the product isn't of high quality, it's not going to last. And what I'm most proud about, we have the programs to back up our jewelry, but the fact is, you run into people that have our jewelry from 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and it looks like new. There is there is throwaway custom jewelry. There is fashion jewelry, And then there is um, high quality Park Lane jewelry and investment jewelry. Some of this jewelry that we've had over the years actually has increased in value because of the quality. I mean, it even surpasses many of the designer houses that you go into. You can't go into a designer house like Louis Vuitton or Chanel or Hermes without seeing fashion jewelry. But the difference is that we have a power in purchasing quantities that we can have better quality at a more reasonable price. Actually, in the last 10 years, our jewelry has um, been reduced in price 10 times what it would normally be because the volume we're doing. Now, you look at these violet earrings, for example. These are our 2 carat impressions earrings. They're worth way more than $30. I'm embarrassed to tell people the price because I know that there are fashion houses that sell this for much, much more. And I leave them wherever I go in whatever flavor the person likes. So if you see me on a plane, you probably will see the flight attendants be wearing these because I need to style them in Park Lane jewelry. But of course, the quality is the highest because we guarantee it. No one in the industry that I have found has the guarantee we have. And that's a program that is says everything. It gives people confidence in what they're buying. First 4 months, free of charge. Their dog gets a hold of it. Their baby gets a hold of it. Their husband accidentally backs over it. Their garbage disposal gets a hold of it. We don't even want to know their story. We just say, send it back and we'll give you a new one. After 4 months and anything on a regular line, $10, you still get a new one. Now, I bet you Gucci, if you get a scuff on a pair of shoes after 6 months and they don't have it in their collection anymore, you don't get something new out of their new collection for $10. But you do here. So if we don't no longer have it within the first year, we'll give you something else that you want. No one has that guarantee. But the best part of it is we have 1.5% return to our company. So that tells you the quality. Now, we don't call it lifetime because I'll tell you, a lot of people, their grandmothers and great grandmothers, my grandmother, she wanted to be loaded up in her Park Lane when she passed away. So the jewelry can outlast the person, especially if they take care of it. So we're proud of the fact it's not ordinary jewelry, it's extraordinary jewelry. And that gives me confidence. And I know these earrings are worth far more than $30. You take our Dovey, for example. I saw these on a on a model in London, and she had her hair up and she had the large pearls in the back. Little I know that they were Dior. Theirs goes for $300 to $400. Ours is under $40. I mean, they're steel, and they have a guarantee that Dior doesn't have. This is the thing that separates us from the rest is we want to be here, God willing, another 70 years. And how do you do that? You take care of your customer and you develop the highest quality in fashion jewelry. We load it up with gold. We have specifications that's the highest, all soldered chains, hand set stones. No one has those specifications. And as far as programs, more than a surprise, it's getting a deal. I'd much rather choose what I want and get a deal on it. And Americans, especially, we love bargains. And what do we do when we get a bargain? We tell everybody about it. And that of course just promotes Park Lane. And I've had people at shows of mine that don't even wear jewelry, but they end up buying the whole sale because they can't resist it. So if a person, let's say, gets these gorgeous Lana earrings, um, that are all mother of pearl for, let's say, regular price, and take another inexpensive item for regular price, that unlocks four at half price. So they could get this beautiful silver double chain for half price, which would be only $32. That's a steal. And it's two chains in one. How cool is that? You're never going to get a necklace like this for $16 each. No way, with a guarantee. So when shopping our sale, our our prices are the lowest in the industry. But this also creates multiple orders from people. And then we have a thank you gift. We want to create great customer service. So another program, and you saw it when you joined Park Lane, was how long are we going to have this, Scott? Is this like, are we married to this? Or, well, it's not in the book. It's special that we've extended now, at least every month since you've been here 7 years. But you know what? That's what makes it more exciting. It's offered now. And you say, if you spend $90, you can get a bonus gift. Any item in the collection, even if it's a, let's say, a impressions bracelet, which should be, which would be well over $800 in the real world. This is all hand set, 40 carats. I think we should give one away. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do
So
it.
I'm gonna make a note. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, guys. At the end of our Zoom, we have a survey link, and everybody will submit their information into the survey link. I'll give a code word. We'll do it at the end. Heidi's got it, and she'll post it. And all the pieces that Scott says we're giving away tonight, I'm gonna make a list, and we will be picking winners, and we will reach out to you if you're the winner and send you that item. Okay,
So
so
this is a $188 bracelet. It should be priced way more. When I give it away to people, I don't even tell them the real price because it could go for way more. And it's only $35 handling. Now, it doesn't cost $35. $35 for the people here in the US who inspect it and package it and send it off to you. That's what the $35 is for. So it's basically a great enhancement to our program. So when people say, well, it sounds complicated, well, not if you just piecemeal it. Imagine going into Macy's and buying two pairs of socks at regular price, and then the then the clerk says, now you can unlock four, anything you want more expensive in the designer departments for half price. And the way out, when they check you out, they say, oh, you spend $90. Go back throughout the store and select anything you want for $35 handling. That's it. They're thrilled. People think about what they saved then, and you can leave them with the amount they saved. You can even put together bundles where you can say, let me show you a bundle that all works together and show them huge discounts. Sometimes it's like a Happy Meal. They can't think about all the things they want, and you get a better deal if you buy the package. So that's how many of our people roll to make it simplify it for others. But people remember a bargain, especially when they get to choose it. So we have that as our standard program to create that excitement for people to place an order. And once they get the jewelry, trust me, they're always happier than when they saw it online. There's no way we can capture the sparkle in this bracelet, this Van Cleef inspiration bracelet. There's no way. But when they get it, they're they're not only showered with compliments, but they want more. We get 50% more of our the customers then will place an additional order, if not book or join the business, because they're happier once they get it. And to me, that's better than if they were just happy when they saw it online and then they're disappointed because they don't come back then. They're selecting what they want, first of all, so they know what they're getting. So we should give one of these bracelets away. Chateau, right? I think this is one of my.
That's royal.
This is royal. I have a
Yes.
chateau too. Put
Okay.
down two. Let's do a chateau and a royal. I love them both. I gave a chateau away the other night, and the girl was just, it was all in mother pearl encrusted. Now, these are all hand set pave stones. This is not just stamped out. It's a actual, it has a triple lock like you find at a jeweler. Not only that, but you also will notice that it has the open backing just where you see all the stones. They're
Can you
all cubiciconians,
lift it up a little bit? There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you see in fine jewelry.
Yeah. I want to comment for a moment because I remember when I first came, I had to this was different. This was one of the things that was different, having things that obviously our sale was different. I'd never experienced that before, but then having this bonus item and I remember having a moment of like, wait, like I'm gonna offer an item that I may not earn commission on. I remember, like we're talking with
Right.
sellers here. So I remember, you probably remember, I was a little cautious. Heidi, who I joined with, Heidi was a little cautious. Heidi was a top seller. And I remember you said you don't understand, Tish. And you said these words. You said, I would rather your customers spend less money with you and come back more often because ultimately you will be selling more when they can come back repeatedly because they're so happy about their purchase and they're so excited about their savings and it's a feel good purchase versus a regret purchase. And I remember you asking me, how many of your hostesses rebooked or how many of your customers that you met at a party came back and shopped again. And oftentimes those statistics were not high. And whereas here we have hostesses that repeat, repeat, repeat. So you want to talk about that for a moment?
Yes, and the thing about it is because they have such a positive experience, they become a customer for life. Now, with the fact that we market the way we do online now, we have the ability to resell and resell. And when I see the kind of sales our people do just with their past customers, that in itself says it all to me. Uh, I think it was one of your girls said to me at a holiday party. She says, "Today when I released the Eternity necklace, I had $700 in sales, and all I did was post it because her VIP group just jumped on it." So that's something that is a definite advantage because of the experience they have here. And you know what? Um, I think if you had the choice between a high-end car for next to nothing or free, you that would motivate you more than if you had to pay for a Honda. People look at things that are priced higher and they respect them more. They they look at it with that it's higher quality. Men especially. If something costs 300, it must be much better than if it costs 30. If it's 30, it must just be throwaway. So you probably and many wives and partners wouldn't be happy if they just spent $30 on them, but if they knew it was 300 or 600, they'd be like, "Whoa, he really stepped up." We used to have like I think just before you joined, we had a granddaddy signature bracelet. It was $500, and we sold thousands and thousands of them. And they were a pricey item, and that's like number of years ago. So as far as the programs are concerned, they're all designed to make customers feel good about what they spent. They may drop 200, but they may have gotten, $600 worth of jewelry. And they come back and come back because of it. And when you average the price of what they spend, it could be like $35 a piece. So that appeals to people to continue to come back one on one. It also is a reason for people to invite their friends together. If they invite their friends together, they want to be able to give their friends something in a not only in a beautiful product, but a good deal. What do you do when you find a good deal at a store? You tell your friends about it. So why not invite them together for an online show and give them a deal and they'll thank them for being invited. So there's something in it for each customer as well as for the one who arranges the get together. So we talk about another program is our hostesses. Our hostesses are treated so well. You know, if you think about it, a hostess just for inviting a few people together can get on the average of 7 to 9 boxes. They all come in gift boxes of jewelry. I mean, we even put it in a gift box for them, like a Tiffany box in the same color. So imagine this, just saying yes to having a few friends together, you're getting anything in the line for $35. So you want this Giselle bracelet, the Chanel inspiration bracelet? Let's give one of these away, Heidi. Why
Okay,
not?
I'm adding
And
to the list.
so, when you have this cuff bracelet, maybe the meek and mild won't wear it, but try it. You'll get noticed when you go to the supermarket. People will definitely stop you. A tiny bracelet they may not say much about, but a dramatic, daring designer-inspired bracelet, they'll say something about this bracelet, and it'll turn into jewelry talk. So you take this bracelet, anything just for saying yes to a minimum show, 35 bucks. A bonus item. These are non-commissionables, but it counts for all contests, which means it can propel you to win so many gifts and prizes and trips just because you promote the promotions. It gets you the booking, but it also it gives that person another gift, something high end, something to put under the Christmas tree that maybe they wouldn't spend retail for their mother-in-law, but they'll do it for a get together. Then they get $20 per order. 20 bucks. Now, once that show hits 10 orders, we double it to $40. So you literally could get 10 $30 orders and your hostess could get $400 in shopping. That's more than what is sold. And the neat thing is you can be your own hostess. We don't care. Instead of having to write the show up in your dog's name or your child's name, write it up in your own name. You did the work of two people. You were the host and you acquired the orders and you deserve the commission too. So the fact is 10 orders gets you right there. A say yes gift. It could be a $188 item and $400 of shopping. That's $588 worth of jewelry for $35 just for endorsing the company and sharing a great sale with people. So that means more and more people will have them because it benefits them. Then they're entitled to 4 items at half price, which our stylists get paid full commission, which is so neat. So if the host doesn't want it and the mother, sister, best friend want it, who cares? We don't care. And you're getting commission on top of half price items. So if the hostess spends another $100 in half price items, her and her friends, and you're at 45% commission, she's getting $200 for 100. You're getting $45 on that extra $100 order. So it's a win-win for our people. Most companies don't even pay commission on that. They just make it a profit center for themselves. Then, besides that, when your friends book, what happens? You're like, oh my gosh, I got to go to all their shows and spend money. No, you get beautiful jewelry next to nothing. Other, this is one of my favorite items because it looks so genuine. It's in our Lennox, which is a beautiful pendant. Look at the pendant, it's all set in like white gold and beautiful silver. The stones are all paved with the base around it in gold with a beautiful paperclip chain. So every booking they can get another $200 item for just $35. So they're benefiting when their friends book. They don't have to shop all over again and spend money. They can be a guest, but the jewelry's next to nothing. So that's another program that really promotes business. Nothing uh, is more powerful than free. And so when people say to me, how much is that necklace? I say regular price, half price, $35 or free. Which one do you want? It's your choice. You want me to show my jewelry amongst few people? You can get it free. Another one of my favorites to tell you is this couture. I got to give one of these away. These couture earrings. They're all in marquise, the finest quality cubic zirconians there is. They're like on the way to being man-made diamonds. I mean, for a wedding, for the holidays, for special get-togethers, for a class reunion. I mean, they would just be people would just be all over these and saying, "Oh my gosh." Now you don't have to tell them they're not real. I mean, they look real. It's kind of like if you're a blonde today, but you not normally are a blonde. Do they really know? Do they really have to know? All you have to do is say it's Park Lane, thank you. You know, so it looks like the real McCoy without the price. And if it's taken care of, it will last. And that's what really is needed, can be handed down even to generations.
I love so much. I mean, I'm glad you talked on the host plan because I remember when I first partnered with Park Lane, I was on my first trip to Greece, which, that first travel experience with Park Lane is like no other. Heidi was on that trip with me. We earned it together, and it was the most amazing experience imaginable. And I remember meeting another woman who had been with the company for well over 10 years. I can't remember her name now right now, but she had come from another company where she had been a top seller for many years. And I remember her saying, I was an immediate yes when I looked at the Park Lane host plan because she said when you can have an incredibly generous host plan, that is your marketing plan right
Right.
there. That is how you're going to build and network and continue to grow week after week. And that has always stuck with me.
Well, instead of going online and hoping that people are watching you or that you just hit it right and spend hours, at a time trying to capture sales, opposed to having someone that is motivated to get free jewelry, that their friends are going to definitely help them out, and they're getting a deal at the same time. So there's more of a reason for them to book. I can't imagine not supporting my friend if they had me, as an invite to see a beautiful product. Of course, we're going to help them out. So the relationship is different. Otherwise, if there's no relationship and you're just talking just to people you don't know, you have to have an extraordinary personality. You have to have like almost like a gimmick to be able to create excitement, which is hard to last long. Where this you can let the hostess be your helper and she helps you stay in business. I mean, that's how I stayed in business for all these years, was one show just led into another. I had three at the next one and I had four at the next one because I knew the power in the party. But then we have other avenues to be able to move product. We have a fundraiser. We have a great fundraiser program where you can give 50% in cash to a fundraiser. I mean, whether it's for cancer, whether it's for diabetes, whatever is close to you, your heart. And I'll tell you, people will really get behind an organization if it touches them. And so 50%, no one gives that in the industry. I have a girl out east. She has two every year, and she earns the trip on both of them. And there's something like $48,000 on one fundraiser. So we write a check out for 24,000. She gets credit for 48,000. She gets paid on the other 24. So she's at 50%. So she's making 50% on 24, which is $12,000. So, and half of it is given back.
I know
Um,
I was telling you this weekend, my sister Allie just closed out, and she may have talked to you about it, her daughter's second drill team fundraiser. She's done this 2 years in a row, and now the other local like drill teams at these other schools are now contacting my sister, wanting her to come and do the Park Lane fundraiser with them. But they closed out last week, I think, with $28,000 in sales. So, or 26 or 28. So the drill team's getting 13,000. Allie got 26, 28,000 trip points, all the other things that it goes towards. Then she earned commission on the remaining 13,000 and she made a lot of impact. And I was sitting in the hair salon this afternoon at noon and in walks a customer wearing the mini necklace who had bought it on my niece's fundraiser. So there you go. I love
you
it.
know, you know, I'm at a different point in my life as owner, and so my brothers. We've been here a long, long time, and we get excited about keeping things fresh, keeping things new, keeping things innovative, and our ideas come from the people. And it's not that we're so smart, it's that we're smart enough to listen. That's how we've designed the Park Lane plan. But we don't work for money. We work for something way bigger. And that is to see our brand continue to grow. Now we've gone international and we're in other countries. And to see our name expand is everything to us. Um, we've done very well because of the business, and our whole motivation is to pay people more than anyone else. Do you know that most companies pay an average of 35 to 38%? When we were designing our program for Canada, we went to an organization that develops the software for all the direct sales companies, and they told us that most companies only pay on three levels, and with that, they pay under 35% um, back to their people. We pay 73% back to our people because we pay people infinitely deep. We don't have to, but that's the right thing to do. That's the fair thing to do. And our programs is the very thing that continues to keep us strong and keep us growing. But we're always enhancing it. And we're now planning big projects with TikTok for our people. But before we touch something, we want to do it exceptionally well, or we're not going to touch it. We have other programs, like right now, we have our new Dazzle Drop, which has been really um, it's transformed our business and it's been huge for us. And that means anyone who makes a purchase can get this surprise box, and it's a minimum of a $60 item, something they've never seen before. And some of them even have mini impressions in them, which are valued at $160 for $24. Now, no commission is paid, but we pay leadership infinitely deep on these. So you have enough being sold. What happens? It's going to show up in your commissions for your team. This week, as you know, we we offered a special for the end of October, and that is you buy one item. You buy one item, a $22 item, and you can get anything of your choice up to $70, like this Collins necklace, free. And then you can get the Dazzle Drop too if you want. No one does this. And you may say to yourself, well, how do you afford to do it? Well, if you're 70 years old, you're debt free, and you invested wisely, and you are a cash company, you should be in the position to make more on your investments that you can afford to do these things. It's not that we do so much more, it's just other companies don't have the funds to be able to do all we do. So now our customers, until tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Thursday morning, basically, are going to be able to get a $70 item free with any purchase. It's really kind of insane if you think about it. I mean, imagine going into your favorite store and you buy just some random thing and then you get a $70 item for free. I mean, I'd do it at Walgreens. Usually when I check out at Walgreens, I'm like, what did I buy? And it's like $80. You're like, didn't even really buy things significant. So it's something people love, and they will continue to shop with you when they get these kind of specials. Another avenue for your business is not only direct sales, one-on-one orders, um, parties, whether online or in person, fundraisers, but another avenue is Sparkle Box. Our Sparkle Box is an incredible program, and I think I should give one away. What do you think? Should I give one away? This is the Elite Sparkle Box, and it's a subscription program that you can sign up every month for. And you can sign up, and you get it sent to you every month, and you can go off of it anytime you want. The minimum time to sign up is 3 months, and for $24, you get an item valued up to $80. For um, that's for the standard. For the deluxe, you get for $39 two $80 items. And for the elite, you get three items valued up to $80. It's $240 worth of jewelry with free shipping in a special box. How amazing is that? And this month is Roar, which I think is really a beauty, especially if you like animal prints, which is really back. It's all the rage right now. And of course, we have the necklace, the Roar necklace. Oh, look at how it's double plastic. And none of this we have to package. I couldn't even think about packaging all this. I remember years ago, I was talking to a lady that was experienced. She was number one in her company. And she says, do you mind? I am going to fill orders with my other company while I hear about Park Lane. And she was on the floor, and I was on the floor with her while she was packaging orders. And I'm thinking, I can't even believe you're doing this. But anyway, look, check this out. It's a beautiful pendant, the animal print pendant, the cheetah. Look at even with the touch of the bezel, the beautiful crystal, all faceted, the Swarovski crystal on the side. And then, of course, you get the hoop earrings. So we're going to draw for one of these too. So be sure you submit your name because I'm giving these away. And you have the hoop earrings, which are done in, look at the beautiful faux fur and all the pave crystals throughout the earring. And that was gorgeous. Now, if it's not your style, give it away as a gift. I mean, how could you even find an item? I don't have the bracelet with me, but trust me, it's beautiful. And you're going to get the bracelet too, whoever we draw. That's our style drop. This is an additional avenue of income, another stream within us, within the company. So you have all these multiple streams of income. So you sign up your customers, your people sign up customers, you get paid on team sales, counts for all contests. So again, a powerful avenue.
Uh, Clearly, we love jewelry. So, one of the things that spoke to me was our free jewelry program, our Rich Rewards program. And that was something that was a pain point for me at my first company because people were having to take their earnings and constantly reinvest, and get the new, because we had an opportunity to get like a little bit of free in the beginning when you first got started, and then that was it. It never happened again. So, talk to me about why decades later you guys still give away so much free jewelry monthly.
Because you know what? I think about the average person who maybe doesn't have the resources to buy or buy a lot of inventory, or they don't have the money for a big investment. So I want them to have the equal opportunity to be wealthy just like anybody else. And I think of myself, I didn't have much money when I started, but it turned into something way bigger than I could ever imagine. So I think of myself. And so that person coming in, they can get in as little as $129, which gives them a website for a year and a back office and all the training, turnkey training. All they have to do is follow the training. We figured it out after all these years. You don't have to like search for people that are sidelined to you or upline to you to learn from. We have a built-in training program, which all you have to do is follow. And so for 129, you get $500 worth of jewelry of your choice. Now, because it's my birthday month, up until tomorrow night, I'm giving an extra $200 in free shopping. So that's $700 worth of jewelry for 129. Now, the first thing you want to do is invite some people that are very critical together. And you don't want their opinion. You want to share your excitement. Say, I have some beautiful jewelry to show you. And what happens from there? When they see the quality, they see the jewelry, and this becomes your launch show. You get all the host's credit, the sales count for you to get commission on, and it pays for itself. The average show at 30%, you're getting $300 and the free jewelry and the kit. And so, what does it cost you? It's a wash. You have money in your pocket, and we pay weekly. You don't have to buy the merchandise and then wait to turn around the profit and then take the profit and buy more. Instead, you keep your money in the bank. And this is powerful for people. They don't have to chase their money. I know one company that used to have inventory, they're no longer in business. They're out of California. They were initial CL. And you could only sell as much as you're willing to or afford to inventory. And I remember talking to this girl in Washington. She says, all I can afford is 2,500 a month. So she could only sell but 2,500 a month. I thought, gosh, the business limited her because she didn't have maybe the following, maybe she didn't have the resources. That doesn't make it fair. But she had the desire and the hunger and the drive. So I don't think about just the superstars. We have to think about the mainstream people that have an equal chance to be successful. Now they can get $1,000 kit for 229, and now it's a $1,200 kit. So, how do we give them more jewelry? We gift it to them. We have a built-in program. And remember, years ago, I met this lady. She was doing housewares. She was selling PC. And she was telling me that they have a program for new people, and it's only for new people, where if they sold so much, they get a spatula. They sell so much, they get, a strainer. I'm like, well, I think people will be more happy with jewelry than a strainer and a spatula because I already have one and I don't even cook. And so I don't need another one. So the fact is, I said, what if we did this with jewelry? So a lot of our ideas come from watching other companies do things right. But we also learn from companies that do things wrong. And we're like, wouldn't do that. I think they're the best lessons. And so we developed our Rich Rewards, our program. And what it does is it gives people an opportunity to get free stuff. So the first 2 weeks of the month, they sell 1,000 net and non. And what is non? Non is those $35 items. So for $1,000 and the sparkle boxes count and the dazzle drops count, most people have $1,000 just in sparkle boxes going out to their customers. So in itself, that covers it. And they get $250 worth of jewelry. Now, the third week, the third week of the month, if they do 2,500, what do they get? They get next month's new designer item. So I think we have a really Harley bracelet right now that they just got, which is just a rock chic bracelet on strands of silver with isn't that beautiful? It's really high fashion. See this with a like a bomber leather jacket on and a white tee and jeans and boots. You'll be styling. So this is sent to you free. And then next month we have something else. You do 4,000 in the month, you get another $300 free. If you sponsor two people that qualify, you receive another $300. If you sponsor four, you get another $300. So it's easier to sponsor people when they don't have much of an investment. I just tell people, just do a test drive. Let's uh let's have a show and you can have a decider show and go from there. Just get people together and be excited. And it's so easy to roll in people that we can be more selective. When a lot of companies, they will accept anyone who's willing to buy the inventory. And what happens with that is a lot of saturation occurs. There's no level of saturation with a system like this because hostesses are real hostesses, customers are real customers that continue to buy, and our stylists are making money. Now, at a board meeting today, I said, we have so much gorgeous jewelry that's in our vault. We have exquisite designer jewelry that we have maybe minimum quantities of. So we decided, like at 5 o'clock today, that anyone sends in $300 by 3 a.m. Central Time tomorrow, they're going to get an item free from us from our vault. And this jewelry is gorgeous, gorgeous. And you can really see the quality because we take it right out of packages and it looks as good as the day uh, we bought it. And these pieces are worth far more than what we paid for them years ago. And they're items that are on trend today because styles come back. You see the baggy pants, and I'm like, okay, we went through the tight pants, and now we're back to the baggy pants. We had the tight pants before. The narrow, it just like gets you to buy all over again. So um, those are promotions that we offer. And just like our trip, right now we have a trip to Amsterdam. And people that are new have a better chance of earning it because all the people that they know are new to us, people that maybe they worked with in the past business, people that currently work with them in another business. It's common for people to take on more than one business, having more than one stream of income. But you can't chase two rabbits and catch either one of them. So if you're in Park Lane, you'll find out really quick the money is here, and people end up putting their energies where the money is. That's what I find. They stick their toe in it and they go, wow, I got $1,000 check this week. I didn't even get paid from the other brand because usually other companies sit on your money all month long. They're first of all trying to figure out what to pay you because they need for you to do so much to pay you the maximum. They're holding your money, and people here are getting instant gratification. And that's how today's person um, rolls. And what excites them is when they get immediate return for their effort. So I have made it possible for people to go on 2 trips a year with my company. Last year we were to Paris and we were to Dublin. This year we've been to St. Thomas and we've been to Switzerland and Milan. Next we're going to Amsterdam and Brussels. So I find that people that have been with other things have to do a whole lot more than what we asked for in Park Lane. We double points, we many times triple points, and we have some really exciting news coming up that is just going to wow everyone that I can't wait to share. But we keep it exciting for us. And as long as our people um, do their part, we continue to do more on our part.
Love, love, love. Well, and I'm glad you talked about travel for a moment because that's been one of the things that I think has been one of the biggest gifts to me coming here is not only the places that we've been, but the experiences that we have gotten to do when there. I mean, we've had beautiful meals and castles and like, I mean, just you get to many of the countries I've never been to before, but in addition, I'm getting to experience it in a way that I would never be experiencing it if I was visiting on my own. So that's been one of the things that's been one of my most favorites, if I'm honest. And it probably wouldn't be all that awesome if I was the only one on my team going. I love that we have many, many, many that get to join us. So thank you for sharing a little bit about that. And your mother was also very passionate about our travel experiences.
Yes. You know, the thing about it is, um, we're staying in Amsterdam at a five-star hotel. We're going to experience Amsterdam like one would never do it on their own. And you know, I think back at different places we've been, like Venice, when we pulled up in our carriages in to a to a castle, and there's men playing trumpets, and we walked into a gala masquerade ball, and it was just like something out of a movie. You just can't even believe it how we pull all the stops. I mean, we just want to treat our people on experience like they would never do on their own. You know, I think in closing, we should do another bracelet on. What do you think? We should do a couple more of these bracelets. I love the coral one. It's one of my favorite ones because it's so unique. Who wants a coral impressionist bracelet? You know, and if you already have one, stack them, give them away like I do. You know, the whole point of it is don't let it sit in your jewelry box. Share the love, share the sparkle. They will help promote the business for you and they'll get orders for you. You know, I heard there are givers, there are takers, and there are matchers. I know I'm a giver, but I also, when someone gives me something, I always want to match it and do something on my part to measure up to what they've done. So if they want to take care of the drink, I'm getting the next one for sure. If they take care of my dinner, I'm going to get the next dinner. That's what I do, but I definitely prefer to give than to take.
I know that we've gone over a little bit, so I'm just going to mention we also have a Mercedes car program that really spoke to me. And I'm not a car person. Scott is a car person, you guys. Like he's all about cars, thank goodness, because clearly we have a Mercedes car program. I really wasn't, but then I have to tell you, once you get yourself into a Mercedes, like you kind of become a car person. I absolutely love it. And tell me your philosophy on that car program, Scott.
Well, you know, there's a lot of companies that use cars or they have used cars to keep people locked in. And they give up their own cars and then they rely on a car from a company and they have to, you know, live with inferior programs, inferior commission because of a car. As far as we're concerned is, you know, it, yes, it's a luxury item, but it does say a lot to uh, show people the success of your business. You know, success uh, brings on more success. And when you pull up to an appointment or you pull up to lunch and you say, see that car out there, or someone compliments the car, my company covers it. That is a bonus for your business to talk up your business. Now, if you don't need a car, you don't want a car, take cash. Same with our trips. If you don't want the trip, take cash. Now, if you do, if you want the car, basically to receive it takes four recruits in your downline and 16,000 in combined volume in 2 months, and you're now on the car program and you're getting a paycheck every month. This is something that's in addition to. And just like our commissions, our bonuses, we haven't changed our bonus program since I've been in 1979. But the show average is more than 7 times what it was when I came in. Most companies would have changed it over and over again. We don't have takeaways here. I don't believe takeaways really resonate with people, especially salespeople. Because if it was better before than it is now, how can you go out there and say, you should do what I'm doing because what I started was better than what it is now, and be believable? Women are intuitive. They have great insight. They can tell if you really believe or not. If you see decisions that are made that are not good, or things coming from the owners that doesn't really relate to you, or doesn't really align with your beliefs, then no longer can you go out there with the same passion and commitment and excitement. So when they take something away, it's a takeaway. It's not the thing as much as it is the feeling. You know, Harvard University did a study and found the number one motivation was what? Respect. You treat people with respect, they'll stay with you for a lifetime. And that's what we've found in Park Lane. I have so many friends on Facebook that were with Park Lane once when and are still my friends. And they're not my friends just because they make my company money. No, they're my friends regardless because they're great people and they've had experiences that are one of a kind experiences that they'll have with them the rest of their life. That's what we do here.
So we have some guests here, of course, and then we have some who have recently started. And kind of as we close this down, what would be your best advice to those that are here as we're walking into November and December, and they've just recently added this in, or they're considering adding this in, or they're considering making a big change? Like, what would be your kind of your parting words and advice for them?
Well, the thing that I love most about Park Lane, it's risk-free. You have nothing to lose and all to gain. The real loss is if you don't do it and you have to wonder where you could be, or people around you end up doing it and they're calling you later. And you could have been in once when in the beginning, before the numbers of additional people that you know start joining. It doesn't take long before one who tells one. And I'll tell you, with the Park Lane experience, um, there's no negative, because if there was a negative, I would have already changed it, because that's how much we care about our people. And so when people start making two and three and four and five and $10,000 a week without an investment, that will speak to a lot of people that are wait and seers. But you don't want to be a wait and seer. You want to have that blind faith. Hearing what you're hearing today, I've been here for 4.5 decades, and I'll tell you, it's never been as great as it is now. But I have a lot to draw on. And I have a commitment. I think much of it is because I'm a family man, and with the losses I've had with my two kids, and I have two remaining kids, which I have two grandchildren and one on the way in December, which I'm so elated about. But I'll tell you, is the fact that this business is great therapy for me, because it keeps me helping other people and involved in spreading the love of Park Lane and what we can do for them. So I have this great passion to see us become $1 billion company. And by making Park Lane $1 billion company, do you know what that means for each one of you that are joining now? You're ahead of the curve, and you're part of something way bigger than you could ever imagine.
I love it. Thank you, Scott, so much. Thank
Sure.
you for your time this evening. And I just appreciate your words of wisdom. And I got you guys, we talk about how this is a relationship business and a relationship industry. And I joined because of this man, and he has kept his word on every single thing. And getting to know his brothers, they are very similar to Scott in the sense that all they want is to help us be able to make a huge impact in our lives. And so, anyway,
Can
I
I say one more thing? You know, I'm in Chicago, which normally my happy place is under palm trees and Palm Springs. And and we had, we lost a leader uh, this past week, actually a week ago today, and she was with us for 5 years, and she trusted the Park Lane plan, and she joined us, and she did exceptionally well. And she has 5 children. The youngest is 6, and at 45, lost her battle with cancer. And I just prayed on it, like, what can I do? And I don't say this for PR or say this because I'm all that. It's just that when your heart speaks to you and when you just want to do something right for people, we developed the Lindsay Legacy program, and that family is going to be continue to be paid their commissions each week because there's no one to take over that business, and we want to see that business flourish for them. And at the same time, my brother said to the husband at the service the other day that he was putting $10,000 in each one of the 5 kids' names so that they had something for college and it could be funded by uh, in the future. And it's those little things. It's not about the money. It's the action you take. And that shows that you really care. You know, things and money is not as important as people. And I've learned that more than anyone. And so, making decisions with heart is easy for me because I know what it's like to experience great loss too. And all I say in a happy way is that we'll continue to do right by our people because we love our people. And that's seen in action more than it's seen in words. We are truly family here. And I wouldn't ask for you to spend money, invest in money. I'm always looking for ways of how I can give it free to you. And that keeps more and more people growing and flourishing too.
I
So
love
with
it.
that, I'll
With
let you
that,
go.
yeah, thank you, Scott. Okay, so Heidi's going to share the link. Yes, Heidi's dropping the link in the chat. Here it is. Thank you, Heidi. Everybody, the code word for this link is we're going to say Tuesday because it's Tuesday. And if you will fill out the survey, if you are already a stylist here, you still get entered to win all the giveaways. So you may just say, I'm already a stylist here on a couple of the questions, but submit the survey. We will pull the winners tomorrow and we'll get the winners sent out. This list of all these goodies that Scott said he wants to give away tonight. So thank you, Scott, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your time. We hope to see you immediately as a new team member here or within our community if you've not yet joined. And again, I appreciate all of you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Bye, everybody.